Hello, welcome to Trauma Talk Radio live broadcast with myself, your freedom coach, Natasha Miller. Woo, woo, woo. And we are celebrating 1 year of impact all month for the month of April because it is our first anniversary. Yes, Trauma Talk Radio turned one on April 1st, 2025. And our topic this evening is the apprehensive start. So, all month, I'm sharing bits and pieces of my story about the launch of Trauma Talk Radio in hopes to leave you with some gems to help you move forward with the launch of a new idea and really stepping out doing something new. All right, so welcome. Trauma Talk Radio live broadcast is an unconventional podcast that is purposed to help us live a trauma-free lifestyle, one candid conversation at a time. And here for the live broadcast, our agenda is first we open up with some content and then we open the lines where viewers can call in and join me here on the platform for a candid conversation about overcoming life traumas. So I'm actually going to just drop that link in the comments now in case someone would like to call in. So let's chat. Our topic this evening is the apprehensive start. And I want to share how I was apprehensive with the start, the launching of Trauma Talk Radio, and a few tips to help you overcome apprehension when it comes to stepping out in new territory per your purpose for being here. So, Trauma Talk Radio is an inspired idea. I believe it was God inspired because it was during my time of just sitting in the presence of the Lord, talking and listening to Him, that the idea for Trauma Talk Radio came into my lap. And this is January of last year, 2024. And the idea came in the form of a vision. So I saw myself facilitating live broadcasts on social media and people calling in to have conversations about overcoming life traumas. And initially, I was like, no, I do not want to do that. And so I sat with it for the entire month of January to make sure that I'm really being inspired by God, or if, it's just me. Although I figured I was, because typically when He inspires me to do something, it's something I don't want to do. So I sat with it for the whole month of January. And during that time, clips of Kevin Samuels, his clips started to pop up on my news feed. And I have never watched his show before. I've heard of him through conversation with other people, but I never even felt compelled to look into his content or anything like that. So all of his stuff was popping up. And I'm like, okay, watching how he had people, people were able to call in and things of that nature. Then my paparazzi lady, shout out to Miss Pam, she shared on her timeline a clip of her being a guest on the Kendra G show for singles. And I watched it and I was like, oh, wow, okay, this is cute. I like it. So I started to follow Kendra and watch the show. I was like, man, I wish I was single so I could call in with my married self. But anyhow, um, watching those in the clips, it was like, okay, I became comfortable with the idea of Trauma Talk Radio. I was like, okay, Laura, I could see doing something similar to this, but from a trauma perspective. So I think I'm gonna move forward with this idea. So then now we're in February, the beginning of February, and I set a date. I said, okay, April 1st will be my first Trauma Talk Radio live broadcast. And I set the date, I set the time. I also got a logo made for it. So after that, he drops another bombshell on me. He says, okay, now that you have your date set for when you're going to do a live broadcast, this is something else I want you to do with Trauma Talk Radio. And then I had a vision of seeing myself out and about, living life, interviewing random everyday people about trauma and posting the short interview clips. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like, for real. What I'm going to say, what I'm going to ask, how I'm going to do that. So apprehensive once again, but yet obedient. Simultaneously, I'm ordering the little mic that I need to make this happen. So I said, okay. So I had the date set for the live broadcast. And then I gave myself another date. I said, okay, by the end of April, I will have my first interview with some random everyday person by the end of April. Now, mind you, this is February. I haven't told anybody anything. I got the logo done. I set the dates. I set a goal. I ordered the mics and I'm ready to go. So come March, all I did was just present the logo and say, coming soon, coming soon. And Trauma Talk Radio isn't necessarily a podcast, but we call it a podcast because that's where everyone assumed it would be. And I put that out. Then here comes April. Start off with the live broadcast. And in the beginning, there was people present for the live. There were people that called in. Okay? And I didn't have structure. Just I'm just going to come on here, talk about whatever on my heart, and open the lines for people to call in. That was that. And then I said, so in April, I had a prayer walk scheduled with my intercession team. And I was like, okay, that's the day that I'm going to get this one interview. We're going to make that a goal. So I shared it with them when we came together for our meeting, and we made that a goal. We're not going to depart from each other today until we get one interview in. And I didn't even know what question to ask. I'm like, well, what should I ask them? And one of them came up with the question, what is trauma to you and how has it impacted your life? So we go out to eat after we do our prayer walk and everything. And lo and behold, we get that first interview with one of the women that worked at the restaurant where we ate. And I asked that question. And after that first interview with someone in person that I did not know, it's like the windows of clarity opened. And I received a fresh download of what questions to have available on the back of my Trauma Talk Radio card moving forward to where I'm already prepared with a select amount of questions that people can choose from to engage for the short interview clips. And that was the genesis. This is the genesis of Trauma Talk Radio. And that concludes my illustration of the apprehensive start. Now, I hope you captured a few tips that I gave during this story that can help you overcome apprehension when stepping out into something new, launching a new idea, whatever the case may be, and you're experiencing a little apprehension regarding it. So here are the tips. Here are 3 steps to leave you all with. 1, commit to a start date. As step 1, commit to a start date. Set a date to start and honor it by following through. No matter what you think you lack or need to move forward. So no matter what, put together a start date, commit to a start date, and go forward, period. Number 2, capture the clarity. Capture the clarity. Incline your eyes and ears to identify the clarity you need to further develop the idea you've launched while in motion. One of the things I always teach when it comes to soul trauma recovery and life in general is sometimes clarity is in the movement. You're not going to get the clarity that you need to build something, to progress, by just sitting down with the concept itself, seeking to plan and strategize how to make the concept a reality. Sometimes you just have to go forth and do the first thing that you need to do to move forward and bringing it into reality, making it reality. You just got to start. Do something. Get in the movement. Without the plan or strategy, and watch the plan, the strategy, the clarity come as a result of you stepping out. So capture the clarity on the other side of the start date, the launch. And then number 3, step 3, confide with wisdom. Confide with wisdom. Move in silence while only sharing with those who will help you birth the idea and reach your goals. I was silent. January, February, silent. March, a brief announcement, just the logo itself coming soon to keep myself accountable to my start date. That was really what that whole post was about. So I will start on April 1st, like I said. So let me just put a coming soon announcement out there in March. But I didn't necessarily share anything with anyone until April. When after I started with the live broadcast and when I was with my intercession team, because I knew that they would support in helping me reach that goal for the other component of Trauma Talk Radio. So those are the 3 steps that I leave you all with to help you overcome apprehension whenever it is that you're starting something new and you feel apprehensive about the unknown attached to it, the possibilities, the whatever it is, the discomfort, because it may be it may cause you to branch out of your comfort zone, whatever it is, that apprehension, the cause of the apprehension, these 3 steps can help you overcome it. Set a start date, capture the clarity, and confide with wisdom. That's it. That's all. And it looks like there's no one here present for the live broadcast to call in. So I'm about to roll out because Trauma Talk Radio live broadcast is all about conversation. It's about dialogue. And if you're not here to have a conversation, there's no need for me to stay here any longer after the content sharing component of the live broadcast. So until next time, I'm about to roll on. Since I was unable to facilitate Trauma Talk Radio live on Tuesday, April 1st, due to moving and transitioning, I am having a special broadcast this Thursday to make up for it. So our next Trauma Talk Radio live is on Thursday. And the topic is the momentous flow. So now that we've started, how do we flow in momentum? That's what we'll talk about next time. All righty, this is your freedom coach, Natasha Miller, signing off. Peace and freedom. Bye-bye.